Hi, everybody. All right. Hey, Shoshanna.
Hi, Udi. Hi, everybody. Udi, it's nice to see you here in Tel Aviv.
Great to
I
be
understand you flew in from the States earlier this week. So I also understand that this is a especially important year for CyberArk because it marks the 25th year since you were founded and 10
25
years.
years.
Yeah, and 10 years since the NASDAQ IPO. So, but we'll get back to that later. But first of all, in light of the situation, I want to know how you're doing and also, what the atmosphere in your company is in the States, for example.
Yeah, I think we were always proud to build a Israeli global company at CyberArk, and I think it really pays off in this situation. The company is, the best way to show resilience is to show performance to your customers and partners out there. We have more than 3,000 employees around the world, more than 9,000 customers. So we're really a global company. It was amazing to see the 1,000 employees we have in Israel, how they were resilient throughout the last several months, including people in reserve duty and people covering for people in reserve duty, and the global team covering, and to get to a point where the company was more than 100% productive throughout this entire process. Just an example of resilience. The other thing, just amazing solidarity from our employees around the world, but also customers and partners, personal messages. So I think it makes me very, very proud in these tougher times to be a global Israeli and very resilient company.
So let's get to cybersecurity, which is the theme of the day, of course. What are you seeing on the ground, and specifically, in identity security, what are you seeing? What trends are you seeing?
Yeah, I think we've talked in the past couple of years how identity is the new perimeter. We also see it in the way attacks are played off. You can see it in third-party researches like the Verizon data breach report, the Mandiant report that recently came out that looked at events from the last 12 months. Identity is the attack vector in almost every attack. Credential theft leads to lateral movement escalation and so forth. Identity attacks not just on the human identities, but also on machine identities, the non-human identities. And on the other hand, we're seeing that in some of the major breaches out there in the news, it was also an identity attack vector. We had a survey that showed that 93% of organizations had an identity-related attack in the last year. So yeah, this is definitely an important, critical layer of security these days.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between human and machine identity?
Yeah, I think CyberArk was very early to talk about machine identities because on top of securing humans and their access, we also secure how applications communicate with each other. But basically, every I would say digital workload, whether it's an application, it's a bot, it's a service in legacy environments, in modern cloud environments, needs access in order to conduct its tasks and permissions. And for that, it has to say, hey, it's me, give me the permission. And you can't really say, you can't really do multi-factor authentication. Hey, are you really the booking application that wants to access the database? And so that's the whole world of machine identities, and it's growing in exponential form. We found that in an enterprise, there are 45 times more machine identities to human identities because of the explosion of cloud and proliferation of privileges.
Right. Okay, so let's go to AI, which is like the other side of this conference. And everybody's talking about AI.
We need $1 for every time AI is said in this conference. Let's just do that. Or shekel.
We'll become rich.
Or 3.7 shekels, whatever. Okay.
So there are perils and there's promise. Talk to me about the cybersecurity scene, the perils and the promise.
Yeah, no, I think the way we like to look at it in CyberArk and the way we talk about it is that it's a pendulum swing. And AI it's this pendulum that's going to swing, and it's going to serve the attackers, but it also serves the defenders. And of course, there were examples here on stage of how it serves the attacker, whether it's really making a phishing email that you can't resist because it's going to have so much context about your life, about your friends, about events you attended that a human would not be able to resist and to click, or the ease of writing malware. And CyberArk was first to actually show that you can use, we had our research team showed that you can use generative AI to create polymorphic malware that reproduces itself and shows up differently each time. Also think about what it would take a criminal organization to create a fake website of a major US bank or major European bank before AI and after AI. Now they don't need major programmers, and they can really make it slick to make it look like the website. So that's serving the attacker. On the other hand, it's really serving the defenders. I mean, we can automate tasks. We can make our SOC analysts more productive. They have to do less manual tasks. At CyberArk, we're investing in making AI really part of the platform. A few weeks ago at our major conference, we announced Cora AI, which is basically our AI that accompanies everything into our platform, whether it's detecting anomalies in how identities are being used at our customers, or also making policies easier to implement so that solutions are rolled out faster. So I think it's going to be a pendulum swing. I think everybody here, we're on the side that's going to make it work for the defenders.
So the good guys are going to win?
The good guys, yeah.
All right, so let's get to CyberArk and the 25 years since you founded the company in 1999, and then you took it public in 2014. Also, earlier this year, you reached a very nice $10 billion valuation. So talk to me a little bit about how the company has changed over this period as you've accompanied it, and also how the threat landscape has changed.
So Shoshanna, you want me to tell a 25-year story in how many minutes?
3 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, I co-founded CyberArk in 1999 with a high school friend, Alon, and it's been an amazing journey. I always like to talk about Israel is not just startup nation, but can also be scale-up nation. And we built the CyberArk team has built a tremendous company, and like you said, we're celebrating. In September, we'll be celebrating 10 years as a public company. I think what happened to us is customers told us that we are mission critical. We started with privileged access management, one of the most, we created a category. So we took a journey from creating a category and then taking over and expanding into a wider part of the market. And in that journey, customers told us, you're mission critical. We want you to be around. We want you to stay and be a resilient company. And we took the different path, not the exit path where you have parties and you celebrate on the beach for a day, but actually the path where you build a long-standing company. And in that process, build a platform solution that expanded from PAM to from privileged access management to all identity security for humans and machines. In that process, we went public as a profitable company already, like really show good and strong performance. In the process, build a real global company. It's something I'm very proud of. The fact that we have employees in more than 100 countries and presence all over the world. And to your second part of how did the threat landscape change, we could never imagine where it is today when we started. When we started, primarily, it wasn't called cybersecurity. Some of you remember, the industry was called information security, and primarily you had firewalls separating the networks and antivirus kind of protecting endpoints. And we went into that space of access and how humans are accessing information. Most attackers were kind of hackers who wanted to become famous and show that they were able to hack into defense departments and others. The buyers were primarily financial institutions who were worried about protecting a bank or highly regulated companies. And it changed so much. I think of course, the type of attacker, criminal organizations, nation states, who would have imagined that tools from nation states would leak and be used by criminal organizations like the NSA tools? Who would have imagined that some nation states, not in the Western world, but some nation states are actually working with criminal organizations and outsourcing some of the tasks to them. So that's on the threat landscape side. And What happened on the customer adoption is there were some major wake-up calls in the industry, all the way from the Target breach to the Sony breach, and others that just showed that every organization can be a target, not just a bank. And the industry really took off as something that every organization needs. The last thing I would say is about ransomware. I was on live television in the US on CNBC, and it's not that long ago. I think it was like 8 years ago when I said ransomware, and the interviewer said, what's ransomware? Can you explain that to the audience?
Wow.
So it's a relatively recent development, and I don't think we or anybody early in the industry would have imagined, except for a science fiction movie, hey, you're going to have a way to attack an organization, encrypt their data, and you're going to get paid in a coin that's undetected, and you know, you can do it under the radar and can't be enforced. So you know, that's a major development.
All right, so what lessons, and briefly, because time is running out, what lessons have you learned?
Lessons learned. Okay, I'll be quick on lessons learned from 25 years. I think always think long term, especially after listening to customers, but always think long term in every decision you make. I think building, you know, we didn't just go for the US. We went international. We went to Asia. We went to Europe. So long-term thinking in every decision. The other thing is don't let any crisis go to waste. We went through, of course, the .com, the 2008, COVID. In every junction, I can talk about how CyberArk came out more resilient. If I just look at the COVID era, and in that period where everybody was running home and working from home, actually we used that opportunity for two major transformations in the company. We expanded from privileged access management to all identities, some through acquisition and some organically. And we also transformed our business model to subscription. So it was like everybody's working from home, people have more time to work together, let's use that. And of course, there are many times in the cycle that we've done that. And maybe the third biggest lesson is how culture is even more important than technology, your company's culture.
Right. Okay, so talking about company culture, you recently bought Venafi for $1.5 billion, and you know, said to be one of the biggest acquisitions by an Israeli high-tech company. And that gives you a lead in machine identity security. So talking about company culture, when you buy, and you've bought other companies, how easy is it to integrate and to spread this company culture?
Yeah. First of all, it's a very exciting and strategic acquisition for us. Venafi is a leader in machine identity management, the world of certificates and PKI and code signing and SSL certificates and so forth. So it really takes us as a full platform for all types of machine identities to all type of human identities in a single platform. It's very exciting for us. But yes, in every acquisition, because we believe that our culture is very unique and we nurture it in hiring and in everything we do, that we also look at culture when we acquire. And we've said no to deals where we thought, okay, it's not going to be a culture fit. Of course, we look at the technology depth, the customers and everything, but culture is key. And we assess it in an acquisition, and I think in the dating phase, we make sure that they love our culture and will fall in love and want to join. I think we have a great track record of companies that we acquired, actually founders stayed with CyberArk. Companies that we acquired, the team stayed along with CyberArk, and in a growth opportunity, people have opportunity to stay. So in the dating phase, we make sure they're in love with our, what we call smart, bold, but humble. Smart, bold, but humble culture we have at CyberArk.
All right, so since we don't have much time, I think we need to wrap it up. Looking at the next 10 years, predictions.
Predictions are not for the wise. Sam Altman was interviewed recently about, and he was from OpenAI, of course, and he was asked, what do you think about generative AI in 18 months? And he said, 18 months, that's too long from here. So I think the one constant is innovation is going to be key. Attackers are going to innovate, and we're going to have to continue to innovate, but I'm very optimistic that the ecosystem here in Israel and the cyber ecosystem in general, that the good guys, the pendulum will swing to the good guys. It's going to be hard work, but also exciting.
That's why you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you.